from the Fox 5 studios, this is Silver State Sports Live.
It's Friday, it's game day. What an unbeatable combination. Welcome into Silver State Sports Live. I'm Mariah Janos.
And I'm Mike Davis. Nick Kurtz finds himself in good company with Ted Williams and Barry Bonds. We're going over the newest record set by the A's sophomore. Plus, we're gearing up for the fastest 2 minutes in sports, all while the Vegas Golden Knights are gearing up for Game 6.
Yeah, the guys in gold are back on the road in Salt Lake City in hopes of closing out the series tonight against the Mammoth. The momentum seems to be all gold, with VGK pulling off back-to-back thrilling overtime wins in Games 4 and 5. Can they replicate it a third time, though? Or dare I say, even secure the win in regulation? Here's John Tortorella on trying to secure the series.
Teams sell out. They do everything they possibly can to stay alive. So many different things come into play. It's been a very intense series. Just the focus of maybe a series finishing, one team winning, one team losing, all that stuff comes into play. We're going to had a good day away from it. We've had our meetings. We're going to go play and play as hard as we can. I'm sure they'll do the same. We'll go at it. I think there's just a resolve. We've talked about the leadership on the team. I don't think there's any panic. I think they know how to handle themselves as far as just keeping them on that plane, as far as just being ready to play no matter if you're winning or losing, no matter the momentum swings are going one way or another, just get back to your game and play.
All right, so joining us now from the Delta Center in Salt Lake City is our Golden Knights reporter, Vince Sapienza. So Vince, huge news out of morning skate. William Karlsson, he was back on the ice. What does this mean for his return timeline going forward?
Yeah, guys, you know, pressure is a funny word because I actually brought that word up inside the locker room. And Jeremy Lauzon said, actually, the pressure's on us as the Vegas Golden Knights because everybody expects us now to close this thing out, and rightfully so. The Golden Knights were Pacific Division winners. This is one of those, they understood it was going to be a long series, but when you win back-to-back games and you do so in the way the Golden Knights have done it in overtime, you know, winning in overtime is a gut punch to the opposing team. Doing it back-to-back games, you're almost taking the soul of the Utah Mammoth. So closing things out tonight is a necessity, and it's not to avoid a Game 7. The Golden Knights as a franchise have been in Game 7s before, and being at home, they're very confident playing inside T-Mobile Arena. But I speaking with the team, you know, they do say they feel the pressure is more on tonight just to close this thing out. They're the last team in the Western Conference to still have their playoff series going on. So expect the Golden Knights to play with as much desperation as you would imagine the Utah Mammoth.
All right, Vince, so what are the keys to victory for tonight's game?
Yeah, you know, in terms of the keys to victory, John Tortorella almost shook his head saying, you guys want all these answers on keys to victory, because he was asked that very question. And he says, I just want to see us get out to a fast start as opposed to a slow start and continue the good and positive that they have done over the last couple of games. And a lot of that has been playing direct, north-south hockey, getting the puck behind the Utah Mammoth defenders and making them work for each and everything they've done. I've been on the show for the last couple weeks now talking about Vegas grinds teams down. That's what they've done best since John Tortorella took over. And when you look at this series, in the games the Golden Knights have won, they have worn them down physically to the point where they just had nothing left. The Golden Knights would make the most of their opportunities, and away we go. Now, obviously there's a stat out there that says NHL history, and there's been 29 instances where a team has been down in the third period of each game in the first 5 games. 28 of those instances, the team has either lost the series or was trailing. The lone exception has been the Golden Knights, and Tortorella talked about the resiliency of this group, understanding, knowing that they are never out of a game. That is a great asset and a characteristic to have, but he's hoping that they can continue to do more of the same and not have to claw their way back into games as we've seen so far in this series.
All right, Vince, I don't know if you got ran over by a Zammoth or all that hair gel is impacting your IFB, but earlier I was asking about William Karlsson, because big news out of morning skate this morning. Karlsson was actually on the ice, so what does that mean for his return timeline moving forward?
Yeah, you know, nothing got the Twitter fingers moving faster than the sight of William Karlsson on the ice for morning skate. You know, Tortorella has always talked about he's looking for ways to find sparks in the team, get guys going, find a little bit more motivation, if you will, from game to game, because these are long, mentally, physically grueling playoff games. But Wild Bill, William Karlsson back in the fold, back at morning skate, clearly proved a big boost to the team. Guys were light, guys were smiling in a different way. It's still a business trip. They understand what's at hand tonight in terms of the task, but William Karlsson's presence was certainly a welcome one. Now, we will not see him in Game 6 tonight. Tortorella talked about, you know, he's just at the point of his rehab where he can rejoin the team. Kelly McCrimmon talked about it before the Stanley Cup playoffs even began, saying they would have to reach a certain point in the postseason before William Karlsson was truly an option. Does not sound like Game 6 tonight is an option for William Karlsson, but the fact that he is in the ice, was taking part in normal skate. He did stick around after the guys left the ice, did some cardio, if you will, trying to get the legs, trying to get the cardiovascular back to where it needs to be. But clearly a good sign, a good positive that if the Golden Knights can take care of business in Game 6, that lines up a possible return in the second round with his former team, the Anaheim Ducks.
All right, exciting stuff on the horizon. Thank you, Vince. Stay safe out there. All right, still to come on Silver State Sports Live. Nick Kurtz is getting ready to change his walk-up song to Walk This Way. The Big Amish is strutting his way into the record books. We'll explain that next.
This week on the Silver State Sports and Entertainment Network. Your Triple SEN lineup is sponsored by AAA Roadside Assistance. Visit AAA today.
You're watching Silver State Sports Live.
Guess what the Royals have opted to do here? With first base open, they said, don't think we're going to pick on Nick Kurtz. And guess what? He continues to walk right in to the history books, folks.
Yeah, Nick Kurtz making some serious noise by just walking yesterday, drawing an intentional walk, as you just saw there, giving Kurtz his 19th consecutive game with a walk. So let's put this history into some further context.
Yeah, because the Big Amish is officially in some elite company. So Kurtz reaching base with a walk yesterday officially ties the 23-year-old with the iconic Ted Williams. Together, they sit in third place all time with 19 consecutive games with a walk.
Yeah, so now Kurtz is going to look to keep climbing the record books. Barry Bonds holds the most walks all time, but when it comes to consecutive games with a walk, he's number 2 with 20. The first all time, that belongs to Roy Cullenbine with the Tigers, 22 straight games. Here's Marcotte after the game talking all about that history.
I mean, when we look at Nick, when we talked about him when he got here, there was an advanced approach for his age and the accelerated path that he took to the big leagues. But the main thing that I think that we're seeing is just when we talked about the maturation process of a young hitter, even though he wasn't getting hits, was being patient, being selective, and at least getting on base, taking his walks. And we're still seeing that, which through this streak has been, like we talked about, really impressive. To be named, alongside, one of the best baseball players to play the game is pretty impressive.
And as we head into a new month, let's take an updated look at the AL West standings, as you can see right here. So as the A's finish off the month of April with 16 wins, that's the most since the Oakland A's back in June 2021.
Yeah, a solid start for the guys. On May 1st, they sit at first place in the AL West at 17-14. A game-and-a-half lead over the Seattle Mariners. So, Mike, we both predicted, honestly, that this team would make the postseason, at least a wild card spot. How are you feeling so far?
I mean, a lot of surprising things going on here. Of course, kicking off the season, they had a really rough schedule, but that trip to New York, it changed everything. I don't know if they partied it up in Times Square, what they did. If they just got some good New York bagels and pizza, but
that does the trick usually.
So for me, it does.
Okay.
You know, good carbs, but. At the end of the day, this team is dealing with an injury bug. They were missing Rooker for a long time. Now they got Soderstrom and Muncy dealing with some nagging injuries. Yeah, Denzel Clark out. And still, this team is demonstrating so much depth. And that's because a lot of unsung heroes are rising to the cream of the crop. You got Carlos Cortez playing really well. You got guys from AAA in Vegas and the Aviators coming up and making an impact like Kobe Thomas. So there's so much depth here. And then on top of everything, you're expecting Kurtz to do his thing. You're expecting some of these other guys to play in the manner in which they did last season. But then the pitching has really been a tremendous surprise, specifically the bullpen. So yes, Mariah, for me, I was thinking this is a team that's maybe going to make the wild card from talent alone. And now you take a look at this, top of the standings, there's no reason why they can't continue this all season long. How do you feel?
Yeah, absolutely. I'm right there with you. I completely echo everything that you just said. I think it's really interesting because coming into this season, our biggest question mark was around the pitching. We were like, hitting, fine. Offense, elite. But the pitching staff is questionable. The pitching staff is what is winning them each game and helping them stack these wins. There have been moments where the bats have not come alive. And Mark Kotsay has voiced his frustration with his offense, which was very wild to see, something we are not used to hearing from him, seeing from him. But then you've also, like you mentioned, the depth, the guys that are stepping up. Carlos Cortez, he's batting .476 in the last 15 days.
Yeah.
Like, what? That's crazy.
And nobody would have anticipated
it. And as you mentioned, the farm system as a whole is so elite. You've got some of the top prospects in baseball throughout this entire farm system, which has been incredible to watch. So with one guy going down, it's really not the end of the world. You've got someone right behind waiting in the wing, and we've seen it so far. Brett Harris gets recalled to the A's. Up comes Tommy Tanks or Tommy White from Midland to the Aviators to fill in the spot there at third base. It's just a train moving along the tracks seamlessly.
And you know what the funniest aspect to this whole early success is the fact that if they anticipated this, they would have not traded Mason Miller, who's in Cy Young contention right now and everything he's doing in San Diego. So Leo DeVries, a guy who's in Double-A, who's not even going to make an impact on this roster for years to come. If this team is really competing as the leader of the AL West, not even just wild card spot, but we're talking postseason, they would want Mason Miller in this bullpen, on this team, if they really anticipated this.
Yeah, and they're doing just fine without him, but obviously Mason Miller doing pretty good this season as well. So we'll see if this trade pays off in dividends later down the road. But the A's will look to continue the good work this weekend as they kick off a 3-game homestand versus the Cleveland Guardians. JT Ginn gets the nod tonight at 6:40 p.m.
And coming up, we're getting you ready for the Kentucky Derby. Case Keefer, he's going to join us next to break it all down.
You're watching Silver State Sports Live.
All right, welcome back. So the Kentucky Derby is back for the 152nd time this weekend, and we need to get prepared for the fastest 2 minutes in all of sports.
So here to help us with all the Churchill Downs insight is Case Keefer, assistant sports editor with the Las Vegas Sun. All right, Case, what makes getting in on the action in Vegas different or even better than in person?
Yeah, well, unfortunately, I feel like it was way different like 10 years ago. You used to go into any casino and they have fixed odds everywhere, matchups that weren't really like the same thing you get at a horse track or Churchill Downs. It's a little bit down now, but, I still think it's such a big betting day, and there's some sports books that, in my opinion, do it right for the Las Vegas style. For everyone here that's used to normal sports betting, you can go find those fixed odds, bet on your horse, know the exact price you're getting, instead of more pari-mutuel wagering where you're just straight up picking who to win. You don't even know what price you're going to get till the end. So fixed odds in Las Vegas is the biggest difference. You know what price you're getting, what horse you're betting, and you can still find that some places.
You know, Case, I'm a little disappointed. I thought you'd have a hat on for us, maybe a mint julep or something on the desk, but it's okay. I know you're going to get in the spirit at least tomorrow, but let's talk about this. Renegade right now is the favorite, but from what I'm hearing, there might be a little bit of vulnerability there. Please explain.
I really did think about the hat. It was just a little bit too late. I already sat down, so sorry to let you down on that front. Yeah, Renegade the favorite, but it seems like we go through this about every year in the Kentucky Derby. A horse coming out of the one gate has not won the Kentucky Derby, I believe, since 1986, and very few times ever. It's a very tough position to be in this a 20-horse field to be breaking from the rail. Now, they changed some of that. It used to partly be the gate. There's now a better gate for that. So someday it's probably going to happen. Someone's probably going to win out of the one. But Renegade already kind of looked a little bit sketchy even before the really bad post-draw. The one, there's been some murmurings that he's not 100%, hasn't looked great in training, not super experienced. So I think we went into the week already thinking Renegade might be a little bit of a vulnerable favorite, but now drawing that one, that's just been a curse in the Kentucky Derby. We'll see if he's the horse to break it this week.
Yeah, certainly. Now, what other horses would you say to look out for?
Yeah, I really like Chief Wallaby, kind of coming out more of the middle of the field. Jockey Velasquez won it last year with Sovereignty. We'll see if he can make it 2 in a row. Really, the best prep race this year was the Florida Derby, and 3 of these horses ran in it. Commandment, the Puma, who I know everyone's excited about for the Taylor Swift the connection, but it was the Puma, Commandment, and Chief Wallaby. And Chief Wallaby did come in third, but it's not like he got blown out. Those 3 were extremely close. It was a photo finish between the top 2. It looked like Chief Wallaby still had a little bit left if that race was a little bit longer. And I think it's important to note that at the time he was favored over those 2 in the race, and the odds we obviously see now that's changed a little bit. He's expected to be a little bit worse than those 2. You don't want to put too much into one race. I still think he might be the top caliber horse out of those 3. So if I had to pick one horse to kind of key in your betting pursuits, I think that's where I would go.
Okay, in Case, before we get into a prediction from you, I'm just curious, because Mariah, you have never attended, right?
No,
Churchill
I have not.
Downs. I haven't either, but Case, you have, right? Can you give us a little bit of just a taste of what it feels like to be there? Because I'm always watching and scrolling on social media, and it just seems like major FOMO. So give everybody here a breakdown.
I'm embarrassed to say I have not. I'm flattered. I'm glad that you think I would have been there. I probably should have. My dad's in the horse racing industry, so he's been several times. But there's always so much going on this time of year, especially in Vegas. I could never pull myself away. I got to get there sometime. I know from talking to my family, they rave about it and say it lives up to every bit of the hype. But yeah, I have never made the trek.
That's why. Okay, that's why you don't have the hat. Okay, now it makes total sense.
Yeah, no, I get it. All right, so before we let you go, let's get a final prediction. Who wins this thing?
I'm going to go with Chief Wallaby. I don't want to waffle and, say someone different. I already said I would also look out for Further Ado is another big favorite we haven't talked about. As far as like speed figures, he has been the fastest horse in this race. Can he necessarily keep that up for a 3rd straight race? I mean, he's just been blistering the last 2 times out. Who knows? It's always tough in this big of a field. He's at 18, so not really an ideal place to start. But he's the other one I'd look out for. But I had to pick one. I'm going to go with Chief Wallaby. Does what he couldn't do in the Florida Derby and beat out Commandment and the Puma.
All right, you heard it here first. Case Keefer, please have an extra mid-julep for Mariah and I, okay? Promise us.
I'll wear the hat next time.
Perfect.
Okay.
Thank you. I'm going to start calling you Chief Wallaby.
Ooh, I like that.
Yeah. All right. Coming up, number 15 is Hit in the Practice Field. We're showing you the social video from the Raiders next.
You're watching Silver State Sports Live.
I can't believe it was only a week ago that Fernando Mendoza was introduced to the local Vegas media, and now we're already getting a little taste of what Mendoza is going to look like in the silver and black.
That's right. Let's take a look at the video posted on Raiders' social accounts from Raiders rookie minicamp.
Wow, look at the slow-mo.
Look at that. You're salivating.
And the smile, the slow-mo smile.
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
Yeah. Oh, he's happy to be there. He's ready to start working with the Raiders. It's exciting. I can't wait to see how this kid develops.
And let me just, for everybody who doesn't know, okay, when you wear that red uni, do not touch it. Do not injure this. This is our golden goose. Do not injure this guy. We need him smiling for perpetuity.
Yes, absolutely. And we need all the content so Mike can stay happy. Now, in addition to the Raiders, we now need to check in Utah because the Mammoth are kind of just failing miserably when it comes to the playoffs.
Tusks up.
Like, look at these rally towels and how atrocious they are. That's something I made on Pick Stitch. Like, this is something that...
Are these actually... Because I had no clue we were even doing this.
Did you see our rally towels at the Fortress and how it was literally like Michelangelo painted Mark Stone on the... And it was so detailed and gorgeous. And this is all that the Utah Mammoth have to offer. Talk about... rookie.
That is really rookie level stuff. That's so disappointing. I never even seen this until this moment right now, and it literally looks like it was made on Canva 15 minutes ago.
I was about to say Canva.
Like
I could do a better job.
Like Canva, this is just like anybody's mother-in-law could make this in 15 minutes.
Yeah, this is probably like a jersey that James would wear for his softball league.
What does it say? Oh, well,
Just
James takes. Come on, James takes softball seriously.
I know.
He's got a trophy on his desk. He would take more time than this.
He is a champ, so I will give him that. But yeah, no, these are atrocious. These are embarrassing. Level up. I mean, I think this just is...
You just wipe your mouth with it.
This
you get
is
a little
foreshadowing
ketchup. You get your
for
ketchup,
tonight.
you're dipping the fries, the ketchup, you just use the rally towel to wipe off the ketchup.
I don't know how you win when you have those towels in sight.
It's not a good look,
No.
and it probably foreshadows a loss.
It does. So we'll see what happens. But either way, we'll see you guys on Monday. Have a great weekend. Go Knights, go.